The year was 356 BC. In the ancient kingdom of Macedon, a prince was born who would one day change the course of history forever. His name was Alexander. Legends claimed that on the very night he was born, strange signs appeared across the Greek world. Some believed the gods themselves had announced the arrival of a future conqueror. Alexander was the son of King Philip II, one of the greatest military leaders of his time. His mother, Queen Olympias, believed her son was destined for greatness from the day he opened his eyes. But destiny alone never creates legends. From childhood, Alexander was different. While other boys enjoyed games and celebrations, he spent his days learning about war, leadership, philosophy, and the heroes of ancient Greece. When he was only 13 years old, his father hired the greatest philosopher in the world to teach him. His name was Aristotle. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander studied science, medicine, politics, geography, and literature. He especially admired the stories of Achilles, the legendary warrior of the Trojan War. Alexander dreamed of becoming even greater than Achilles. One day, a wild horse was brought before King Philip. Every rider who tried to control it was thrown to the ground. The crowd laughed. But the young prince noticed something no one else did. The horse wasn't wild. It was frightened by its own shadow. Alexander gently turned the horse toward the sun so it could no longer see its shadow. Then, with complete confidence, he climbed onto its back. The horse became calm. The crowd stood in silence. King Philip looked at his son with pride and said, "My son, you must find a kingdom worthy of your ambitions. Macedon is too small for you." The horse was named Bucephalus. It would become Alexander's closest companion on countless battlefields. That was only the beginning. No one yet knew that this young prince would soon command one of the greatest armies the world had ever seen and build an empire stretching across 3 continents. As Alexander grew older, his courage became impossible to ignore. At just 16 years old, while King Philip was away on a military campaign, Alexander was left in charge of the kingdom. Many believed the young prince was too inexperienced to rule. They were wrong. A neighboring tribe rebelled, hoping to take advantage of the king's absence. Alexander acted immediately. He led his soldiers into battle, crushed the rebellion, captured the enemy's stronghold, and founded a new city, naming it Alexandropolis. It was his first taste of victory. Only 2 years later, Alexander fought beside his father at the Battle of Chaeronea. This battle would decide the future of Greece. Leading the elite companion cavalry, Alexander launched a fearless charge that shattered the enemy lines. His bravery helped secure one of Macedon's greatest victories. People across Greece began to realize that the young prince possessed extraordinary military talent. But before King Philip could begin his long-awaited invasion of the Persian Empire, tragedy struck. In 336 BC, during a royal celebration, King Philip II was assassinated. The kingdom was thrown into chaos. Alexander was only 20 years old. Many believed his rule would collapse before it even began. Powerful enemies prepared to attack. Greek cities declared independence. Neighboring kingdoms waited for Macedon to weaken. Alexander moved faster than anyone expected. He eliminated rivals, secured the throne, and marched across Greece before his enemies could unite. When the city of Thebes rebelled against him, Alexander responded with overwhelming force. The city was destroyed. Its fate sent a clear message to the rest of Greece. Resistance would not be tolerated. With Greece united under his command, Alexander finally turned toward the greatest challenge imaginable, the mighty Persian Empire. At that time, Persia was the largest empire on earth. It stretched from Egypt to India. Its king, Darius III, commanded enormous armies and possessed unimaginable wealth. Most people believed defeating Persia was impossible. Alexander believed otherwise. In 334 BC, he crossed the Hellespont with nearly 40,000 soldiers. Before stepping onto Asian soil, he is said to have thrown his spear into the ground and declared that Asia was his by right of conquest. The campaign had begun. Soon, Alexander faced Persian forces at the Battle of the Granicus River. Despite strong enemy defenses, he personally led the attack across the river. The fighting was brutal. Several Persian nobles nearly killed him. At one critical moment, a Persian warrior raised his axe to strike Alexander from behind. Before the blow could land, one of Alexander's loyal companions cut the attacker down. Alexander survived by only seconds. The Macedonians won a decisive victory. One city after another surrendered. The young king was proving that he was far more than an ambitious prince. He was becoming one of history's greatest commanders. But an even greater challenge awaited him. King Darius himself was gathering a massive army to destroy Alexander once and for all. Their meeting would become one of the most famous battles in military history. News of Alexander's victories spread across Asia like wildfire. King Darius III could no longer ignore the young conqueror advancing through his empire. Determined to crush the Macedonians once and for all, Darius assembled one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen. In 333 BC, the two armies met at the Battle of Issus. Although Darius commanded far more soldiers, the battlefield worked in Alexander's favor. The narrow terrain prevented the Persian army from using its overwhelming numbers. Alexander saw his opportunity. Leading his elite companion cavalry, he charged directly toward the Persian king. It was an incredibly risky decision. Most generals attacked the enemy army. Alexander attacked its leader. As the Macedonian cavalry broke through the Persian lines, panic spread across the battlefield. Seeing Alexander riding straight toward him, Darius lost his nerve. He turned his chariot around and fled. The moment their king escaped, the Persian army collapsed. Thousands surrendered. Others ran for their lives. It became one of Alexander's greatest victories. Among the prisoners were Darius's own mother, wife, and daughters. Many expected Alexander to treat them harshly. Instead, he surprised everyone. He ordered that they be treated with respect and dignity, promising that no harm would come to them. His generosity earned admiration even among his enemies. After Issus, much of Asia Minor accepted Alexander's rule, but one city refused to surrender. It was the wealthy island city of Tyre. Protected by massive walls and surrounded by the sea, Tyre seemed impossible to capture. Alexander demanded its surrender. The city refused. Rather than abandoning the siege, Alexander ordered one of the most remarkable engineering projects in military history. His soldiers built a huge stone causeway across the sea, slowly connecting the mainland to the island. For 7 months, they worked under constant enemy attacks. Finally, the Macedonian army reached the walls. After fierce fighting, Tyre fell. The victory shocked the ancient world. If Alexander could conquer Tyre, perhaps no city was truly safe. From there, he marched south into Egypt. Unlike Persia, the Egyptians welcomed him as a liberator. They crowned him pharaoh and celebrated his arrival. While in Egypt, Alexander founded a new city on the Mediterranean coast. He named it Alexandria. Over time, Alexandria became one of the greatest centers of learning, trade, and culture in the ancient world. Its famous library attracted scholars from across the globe and remained legendary for centuries. But Alexander's greatest challenge still lay ahead. King Darius had escaped. Now he was gathering another enormous army for one final battle. In 331 BC, the two leaders faced each other on the plains of Gaugamela. Darius had prepared the battlefield carefully. The ground was flattened so his scythed chariots could charge at full speed. He also commanded war elephants, cavalry, and an army believed to number several 100,000 men. Alexander's force was much smaller. Many believed this battle would finally end his remarkable campaign. Before sunrise, Alexander walked through his camp. Instead of giving a long speech, he simply reminded his soldiers of everything they had already achieved together. They trusted him completely. When the battle began, Persian chariots thundered toward the Macedonian lines. Alexander had trained his soldiers for this moment. They opened gaps in their formation, allowing the chariots to pass harmlessly through before attacking them from the sides. Then came the decisive moment. Alexander spotted a small opening in the Persian line. Alexander shattered the Persian Empire at Gaugamela by driving straight toward King Darius, forcing the Persian king to flee once again. After entering Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, Alexander stood as ruler of the greatest empire on earth at just 25 years old. Yet victory over Persia was only the beginning. Believing there were new worlds beyond Asia, he marched east through harsh deserts and towering mountains. His soldiers endured brutal weather, hunger, and years away from home, but continued following the commander they believed was unbeatable. Along the way, Alexander founded many cities named Alexandria, spreading Greek culture, trade, and learning across 3 continents. He encouraged unity by promoting marriages between Macedonians and local people, adopting certain Persian customs, and welcoming talented individuals from different nations into his empire. These decisions upset some of his own generals, but Alexander envisioned one united civilization rather than divided kingdoms. His final great campaign led him to India, where he faced King Porus and terrifying elephants at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. By adapting his tactics, Alexander secured victory. Impressed by Porus's courage, he allowed the defeated king to keep his throne and even granted him more land. Soon after, however, Alexander's exhausted army refused to march farther. Accepting their decision, he turned back. The return journey through the Gedrosian desert proved disastrous, with thousands dying from thirst and extreme heat. Back in Babylon, Alexander planned new expeditions, but in 323 BC, he fell gravely ill and died at only 32 years old. The cause remains uncertain. Without a clear successor, his generals divided the empire through years of conflict. Although his empire fractured, his influence endured through the Hellenistic age. The city of Alexandria and military strategies still studied today. Admired by leaders like Julius Caesar and Napoleon, Alexander remains one of history's most influential figures, proving that extraordinary ambition can reshape the world, even if no one can conquer time. Thank you for watching Legends Archive.